I am now going to introduce the next speaker, who's a dear friend of mine. His name is Eugene, and I'm just going to read out his bio. I'm quite sure he'll do a phenomenal, fantastic job, as always also. So Eugene experienced a career crisis in 2013. He was laid off for nearly a year. He couldn't find a job. Oh man, that was rough times for Eugene. His bank savings dwindled, found it increasingly a struggle to provide for his large family of a homemaker, wife, 3 kids, and 2 elderly parents. That is a lot of people. To make ends meet, he had to ask the government for food coupons for his kids, to borrow money from his elder brother. In 2015, he made a decision to shift his mindset from fragile to anti-fragile, and everything started to change his habits, he changed his skill set, he changed his network, the way he communicated, the way he spent his time, the way he responded to every challenge. As a result, his speaking and coaching business grew, and he was invited to many cities to share his story and teach his anti-fragile framework. He was even featured on TV, radio, newspapers multiple times to share personal examples and practical case studies on how to grow from fragile to anti-fragile. I know he's going to crush it. I know Eugene really well. And Eugene, I want to invite you on. Please go up there, smash it, as you always do. Eugene, my man, let's go.
Thank you, Melvin. I respect Melvin a lot. I know what he has gone through. Today he has no chance to share that story of sleeping on sofa and all that. And now he's a millionaire. So I think a lot of us definitely please try to connect with him. Not just to become a millionaire, but really learn from his mindset. Yeah, I'm going to share with you a relatively new concept. It was new a few years ago, but by now I think most of you would have heard it. It's called anti-fragile, or depending on which country you come from, anti-fragile. I'm going to share the slides pretty quickly. Yeah, but before I do so, I would like to invite you to take a deep breath. I just feel it's a pity if you somehow came on this Zoom and you are curious and you just want to learn, but you are doing something else, like walking or checking your email. I think it will be a very big pity. So I invite you now to be mindful, be present to all the experiences, lesson, and wisdom, not just from me, but from all the speakers here. Although our talk is short, like 10 to 12 minutes, but this came from years and years. Even someone as young as Jin Han, it came from decades, right? Okay, maybe only 2 decades. Yeah, decades of wisdom and experience. Also, please don't take it for granted. Grab a piece of paper or digital device, take lots of notes. No need to summarize. AI can summarize for us very well. Write down only 1 or 2 points that really jump out at you and you feel that, wow, just using this 1 point alone, for example, anti-fragile, it will pivot my mindset and change my life and bring in lots of abundance. Also, please own the learning and don't just let it go. Yeah, and the worst things I've ever heard from people is, oh, I learned nothing. I've gone to a lot of courses, and even from the most boring speaker, I learn a lot. Right? For example, what not to do. Right? Maybe the body language is horrible, the tonality is bad, he's very sarcastic, always insulting the audience. Right? So I learned what not to do. So it's impossible to walk away from a Zoom and say, I learned nothing. Right? If you really do say that, I'm very sorry, you have only yourself to blame. There's a very important question you should ask yourself right now. Are you a fragile person or anti-fragile person? What does fragile mean? Some people call it strawberry, right? Like one moment they are okay, they go to work. Another moment they say, sorry, hashtag mental health day, I'm not coming to work. Or even worse, they quit on you, right? They resign after 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, right? Now, a lot of people say there's this generation called fragile generation, but I believe it's not a generation. I believe it's a type of people. That means even someone like me, 49 years old, can be very fragile as well. It's not just young people who are fragile. So I invite you now, regardless of your race, language, religion, age, or gender, to reflect. Are you fragile or anti-fragile? Okay, what do I mean? Fragile are like eggs, right? All these are metaphors. Give up easily. Like, for example, if you are a financial consultant, you only do for 3, 4 months, say no sales, say, oh, this is not for me, you give up. Or if you are a property agent, you say, wow, this is 9 months already, nobody wants to see any property with me, you give up. Or employee, right? 3 months, you say, oh, my boss doesn't give me any coaching, not very nurturing, always talk down at me, you quit, right? These are called fragile people. I'm sorry if I have triggered some of you, yeah, but you need to use this chance to wake up, right? The world will not wait for you. And then there's this group of people called resilient people. They are like a stress ball. You can press them very, very hard. They will always go back to the same shape. Yeah, such people are obviously more respectable and admirable than the fragile people, but they don't change, right? The stress ball you put there for 10 years, it still looks like exactly the same. It doesn't grow, it doesn't shrink. It's the same stress ball. So I invite you not just to be resilient, because resilient people will stay in the same job as accountant for 10 years. They don't dare to resign even though they are not growing, because they have mortgage to pay, they have kids to send for university. So don't be just a resilient person. I invite all of you today, starting from today, make a decision to be an anti-fragile person. Someone like a muscle, right? Some of you may have gone to a gym before, either one day, 1 month, 1 year. Some of you go to gym every single week. I know, I can see it from your muscle. Right, so the moment you keep training your muscle, it goes through stress, it goes through breakage. Then as it reforms, it becomes stronger, just like the picture you see here. So some of us go through retrenchment, go through divorce, go through cancer, go through a toxic culture, and you come out stronger and better. Your character becomes purified. And these are the people that contributes to the world. A short story, very, very short. I can share my story for 45 minutes, but today I want to respect your time. I grew up with my mom and my dad, and this is my mom, and I promised her I want to take good care of her. I want to bring her for overseas holidays. And that drove me for years to study hard and to work hard. And I did study hard. I got a scholarship from Singapore Stock Exchange, not too bad. I scored a lot of A's in my A level and my degree. And after that, Nomura headhunted me to go to Hong Kong to become the vice president of Asia Pacific ex Japan. I'm not shy to tell you my salary was $24,000 per month. Today I have zero salary. I earn my own keep through commissions and through my profit because I run my own business. But back then, $24,000 per month flows into the bank effortlessly, right? Because I just have to go to work and the salary comes to me. And then one day it comes crashing down, 2013 November. The HR asked me to go into the office and say, sorry, today is your last day. You know, in the bank, they don't allow you for 3 months handover. They say, today is last day, the security guard will escort you out. Very, very tragic for me. And then I have to make a decision. Am I a fragile person or anti-fragile person? Right? A fragile person will say, okay, maybe I'll just kill myself, kill my whole family, jump off the building, give up on life, blame God, stop going to church. That's a fragile person. So I have to ask myself that question, right? And then it breaks easily. Then I say, no, I'm a Christian, I'm a human being, I'm a Singapore citizen, I'm a father of three, I'm a husband, I'm a son with elderly parents to provide for. I will not give up. So I eat cai peng every day, $5 per day. That's 2 plates of cai peng. Of course, cannot take the fish or chicken wing, just take the tofu and the egg. Yeah, and I wasn't so fat last time. Now I'm 85 kg. Last time I was only 65, 20 kg lighter than now because every day only 2 plates of cai peng. And I call myself resilient, right? That means I didn't kill myself. I didn't give up. I continue to work hard to provide food for myself and my family. So I'm a resilient person, quite respectable. And then I met this guy in 2016. I won't share much about him because he's still working for the Navy. He wants to keep things a little bit private. But I just want to say that I learned a lot from him. He lost his hand and 2 legs from a Navy accident. You can just imagine how painful it is. The ropes got entangled in his limbs and just tore it out, and he was bleeding non-stop. Then after that, he didn't give up, and not only did he become resilient, he was actually an athlete, winning 3 gold medals in ping pong for Singapore. And in 2018, he was awarded the Athlete of the Year by Straits Times. Every time I look at him, I tell myself, like, hey, Eugene, you only lost your job. You didn't even lose your limbs. Like, why are you whining nonstop? So I am very, very proud to learn from him. I call him my friend today. Not very good friend, not very close, but definitely he's my friend. I can text him anytime I want. And each time I feel down, I decide I want to be Mr. Anti-Fragile like him, so that with every tragedy, I become stronger. I won't win gold medals for Singapore because I'm not in any sports, but I will win gold medal for my life. So this is called anti-fragile life. You know, our brain is like a map and there are two hemispheres. So you ask yourself, do you want to go for the weak pathway, the most convenient way, the path of least resistance, or do you want to go through some level of stress by changing job, learning new skills, reading new book, going on stage to do public speaking, so that you build a strong pathway for your brain? Okay, the rest of the slides are a little bit boastful. I apologize for that. I started appearing in Sunday Times, TED Talk invited me to speak. I'm in the financial industry earning COT, caught of the table, which is 3 times MDRT for 4 years in a row. Before that, I was MDRT for 3 years in a row. And then after that, I earned Certified Speaking Professional, awarded to the top 12% of professional speakers in the world, and by none other than Ron Kaufman, the legend himself. And how about my promise to my mom? I've been bringing her to Spain, to Sydney, to cruises, to Taipei. And again, I know it does sound boastful, but I just want to share with you in the context of I finally fulfilled the promise to my mom. You know, what's the point of becoming successful, really? What's the point of becoming anti-fragile? Isn't it to provide a better family, provide better finances for our kids, right? Provide a better life for ourselves. You know, we're not just earning money for the sake of money. We're earning money so that we live life without regrets. This is my final slide. I just want to point to you that life is going to be full of volatility, especially with AI replacing most industries and most jobs nowadays, right? Even when HR tell you, sorry, we're not going to replace you, I'm sorry, they're lying to you. They will replace you because you are slower than AI, because you take sick leave and AI does not take sick leave. So as the world becoming more volatile, as industries start to shut down, as companies start to be replaced, ask yourself, are you the fragile kind of person, the red line that just falls off the cliff and full of scarcity in your bank account, scarcity in your health, scarcity in your network? Or are you the anti-fragile kind of person that keeps going up and up and up each time you face stress, so that you lead a life of abundance, so that you have more than enough, 年年有余, you know, like Lo Hei, 年年有余, so that you have millions and millions of dollars in your bank, not to buy a Ferrari, but to give away, to build a hospital, to build an orphanage. And if you want to be anti-fragile and abundant, then I invite you to join my network. What do you mean my network? Sorry, it's not a subscription fee, don't worry. It's LinkedIn. So right now, I invite you to scan this QR code, join my LinkedIn community. I have currently 25,000 followers. I write 3 to 4 times a week to inspire, to impact, to spread abundance through the power of words. Talking about words, I've written a book called Sober Me. I'm going to give out for free. It is usually $25. All you need to do is scan this QR code and just private message me, and I will give you this book for free. The entire book, not a preview, not a few chapters, but the entire book worth $25 for free. You can read it and DIY your way to success. How to brand yourself and build trust quickly with stakeholders, any stakeholders, clients or prospects or your bosses. That ends my talk for today. I hope I've brought value. It gives me great honor and pleasure now to introduce the next speaker. But let me take a deep breath first. Sorry, I was talking very fast today because I want to respect the time. Right now, I want to introduce the next speaker. And I follow him on LinkedIn a lot, and I learn a lot from his writings. He's also a financial consultant like me, but way more successful because he runs a team and he has a very powerful framework that I hope all of us will listen very carefully and take notes on. Yeah, but before I stop sharing the slide, just give you last 3 seconds, scan the QR code, LinkedIn message me, I will PDF you the book, okay? I know some of you are starting to think like, oh, he's bound to sell me something. If you live like that, I'm sorry, you will get nothing, right? You won't get a book, you won't get coaching, you won't get network. You just live life with scarcity and skepticism. But if you are like me, trust people very easily and build great friendship, then quickly scan the QR code now.